Welcome to our TST Dialogues, where we'll be talking about our topical issues in the region. And today we have a subject that is extended to our whole African continent, the issue of tax evasion. And I'm joined here with Alex, an expert in the area. Alex, welcome to our dialogue.
Thank you. My name is Alex. I'm a director at Bandaree Limited, which is a consultancy firm that does work in trade, tax, technology, and policy area. And I've also done research over the years in tax avoidance and evasion issues, especially as they affect the African continent. And I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. Care to share with our audience the issues of tax avoidance and evasion schemes in our African region?
So I think the issue around tax avoidance or evasion, depending on the language one uses, it's about trying to address the issue of resource costs, or what you could call illicit financial flows that have sort of troubled the continent for a long time. And it's simply uh, discussing the most effective ways of taxing companies, especially multinational entities that operate on the continent, so that they pay the right amount of taxes to the jurisdictions where they get profits from. So it's basically an issue that has got global attention at the moment, even though at the OECD, IMF, World Bank, but also more importantly at the African continent, where African leaders are sort of interested in curbing the loopholes in our tax laws and policies.
Okay. You being an expert in the area, approximately how much is Africa losing through these taxation evasion schemes?
I mean, if one goes with the estimate by UNECA, which puts illicit financial flows at $50 billion annually, and then puts the transfer price, the commercial aspect of it at almost 60% of that, one could say that illicit financial flows through transfer mispricing could be in the region of $20 billion annually from the continent. However, this, to my sort of knowledge, is a conservative estimate. I would expect that the numbers will be higher than that in real terms.
Okay, in our region, trying to stop the money that we're losing through this, in your view, what are the major challenges that we are having, and also what are the milestones that we have made in the process of trying to mitigate the effects of this problem?
So there's been sort of significant work going on. The Mbeki report sort of was a good initiative to understand how this menace comes about, and what are the possible options that could be used to address it. I've also seen lots of work coming out from UNECA, from the African Union, who sort of focused on trying to address what has been done. So I'd say progressively we're curbing the issue, even though we still have a long way to go. So the challenges that we still face would be global cooperation and the fight against tax evasion and avoidance, and also the sort of the political economic dimension of it, or where African countries are trying to attract investment, but at the same time open themselves up to potential tax avoidance schemes by these multinational entities that come to do business there. So there's sort of an international element to it that demands political will, but also demands global cooperation, and that is where the challenges still remain.
Okay. We also understand that in our region, there's been countries that have signed the double taxation agreement. Would you tell us what double tax agreement is about, and which are the countries that have signed that, and what are the repercussions of signing that agreement?
So double taxation agreements came about sort of with the intention to address the double taxation of entities that do businesses cross border. So basically, in a bid to encourage them to go abroad to invest, we thought the world then thought that it was wise to give them some tax relief at a multilateral level, and that brought about double taxation treaties that are now adopted by countries bilaterally for their trading partners. However, what we've observed in the last decades has been that rather than being used by trading partners, double taxation agreements have been captured by what would describe as tax havens in the tax space, where countries that do not have significant economic activities being done in their countries, or are not the originator of capital itself, are used as conduit pipes to invest in other countries. So country A wanting to invest in country B could decide to go through country C simply because country C has been able to provide the enabling environment to to sort of erode the tax basis or shift the profits out of country B to country A. What we've seen at the global level, especially also at the G20 OECD level, is that there's been very intentional ongoing effort at addressing it. So there's something which we call the base erosion and profit shifting project that is going on by the OECD, which is sort of looking at what these issues are and also providing possible alternatives and solutions to addressing them. And that's one thing that is happening, and where Africa is right now is involved in the discussion through the inclusive framework of the OECD. Some skeptics think that what is being done isn't sort of result driven in some sense, and some people think that there's significant progress being done. My opinion is definitely there are some wins, but at the same time, the OECD has to take a more radical, fundamental, holistic approach towards addressing tax avoidance and evasion. And in recent times, that approach is been observed. It's been observed with the OECD's actions on it. So I would say that there could be reason to be happy that in the near future we might be able to resolve some of the double taxation issues that come from signing this agreement. Double taxation agreements largely have been signed by a lot of African countries. South Africa leads the way on the continent with close to 70 something double taxation agreements signed with the partners, whether they're trading partners or not trading partners. Mauritius also has been in the news for housing a lot of double taxation agreements and being sort of the conduit pipe for many of these tax avoidance or evasion schemes, as you might put it. Nigeria has a couple of double taxation itself, Ghana. So I think on the continent you'd have a sizable number of African countries that have actually signed on to double taxation agreement molded after either the OECD's tax treaty or the UN's one, which really provides not much of a significant difference in actual fact.
Oh, thank you so much, Alex. And to all of you, if you have any questions regarding to this discussion, feel free to email me at sharon@southerntimesafrica.com. And if you haven't liked our Facebook page, like and follow us, and also follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and let us know what you want to hear in your comments on our discussions. Thank you so much for watching.